When she spoon and like a BB moment, which is like a beautiful black moment. Did we get any of those in this episode?
Black.
We have a chaotic bi moment of the
chaotic bi moment. And you're watching Black Bi Reality.
Black bi baddies
and those who love us.
Hello, you are watching and or listening to the Black Bi Reality Podcast, a podcast for Black Bi baddies and those who love us. I am Nicole Weaver, an entertainment reporter, and I am joined by Quita Tinsley, who has joined us for the Ultimatum Queer Love and like more recaps. And today we're going to do a little send-off. I feel like we can't just let it fade to the background like so many queer reality shows, but Quita, we're not gonna have the Ultimatum Queer Love season 3. How do you feel about that?
What a sad day for the queers who love reality TV and all the queers who dreamed about being on queer dating shows.
Mhm.
I mean, according to Mal, there aren't a lot of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, with all the really trashy heterosexual dating shows on television, is truly a sad day for those
It
of us who
is
love watching queer
sad.
people.
It's sad, but I also think of like, okay, what could we have like improved on, changed? I think the big thing that you just said about Mal saying that people didn't want to be on the show, I think about that. I think about how people didn't want to watch the show, queer people, because the stakes are higher when you're watching queer people on reality TV and they're actually like, ugh, I actually can't take this. I'd rather watch Disaster Straits. But is that like kind of shooting us in the foot then?
I think it does. I feel like we have to allow multiple stories, like all kinds of nuanced stories. I get it that people feel like there aren't enough, maybe more positive queer representations on mainstream television in particular.
Mhm.
But I'm like, most dating shows are kind of a mess, even when they're straight. You know, I'm just like, how many seasons of The Bachelor have we had? You
Mhm.
know, I'm just like, Flavor of Love. Like, I'm just like, those shows weren't like the pinnacle of like ethical television, but they
Yeah.
still existed and there's still shows that exist, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, why can't we have our show? I get it though. I get that people, and I feel like also for a lot of people who critique marriage, queer people who critique marriage, they had an
Mhm.
issue with the Queer Ultimatum. But I'm like, you know, the premise of the show. It was born out of a show that already existed. So I get it.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
gonna, the people who come to the show, at least one of them is really gung ho about marriage.
Yeah.
What it is. We're in a marriage reality dating kind of landscape, you know? It doesn't make sense on The Perfect Match when everybody's like, my perfect match, because you know they're not about to really leave here and be serious, except for AD and
Except for
Ollie.
AD and Ollie. They took that to another level where no
Yeah.
one else was thinking seriously. They were, apparently. But yeah, I think about that a lot. It's like a lot of queer people are trying to bunk against society norms, yet society expectations and gender expectations is what a lot of reality shows that you named really rely on.
Mhm.
It's like we don't have to talk about what the expectations are for women or for men because it's already written in marriage expectations and society. And like for me, I have had an issue with the ultimatum just in general and the premise because it's so pessimistic. I have written about this, and it's like it's so pessimistic because the couples are already coming in a do or die situation. They're acting like we'll never actually meet in the middle or like happy without this ultimatum pressure. And that's a really rough thing to try and like root for
Mhm.
as a
I mean,
viewer.
Because the first one is, I mean, the straight version is called Marry or Move On. It's like, we
Mhm.
have to get married at the end of this or risk losing our entire relationship, which is such high stakes, high pressure. And
Mhm.
honestly, I feel like the queer version kind of, I mean, it allows the space for nuance. It allows the space for us to realize how these our societal scripts on marriage don't make sense even for straight people, but if you fit
Mhm.
into the boxes, it's easier to go along with it. And also it brings up, it shines a spotlight on people being able to talk about their journey around their own queerness. I think, like
Mhm.
for all of the critiques of season 2, I think being able to see Mel's story from their family and being able to see, Pilar's story, that it's
Mhm.
really important, especially in a time when 2025, we kind of talk about queerness as if, though, everybody's gay, it's all fine, when we know that's not the
Mhm.
reality. Politically, it's not the reality in this country,
Yes.
and, like, the lived reality of so many people, it's not, that simple or easy, you know?
Yeah. What do you think it means that the Ultimatum Queer Love was canceled, where now in the headlines we have things like the Supreme Court debating if they're gonna take the rights away for marriage?
Right. I think it's like we're seeing our country swing back, right? We did make a lot of progress in media representation of queer and trans people. And
Mhm.
I think about a show like Couple to Thruple, like
Yes.
that could not exist had reality television not been pushed to represent queerness, right?
Mhm.
Again, for all of its structural flaws as a show, but it's
Yeah.
like showing queerness and bisexuality on a television show, and transness as well, right? I think this is so important, but also our country is at a place where there's so much conservative backlash and a push to like the
Mhm.
conservative norms, and media companies are folding, Netflix in particular. I mean, the amount of years they allowed a transphobic stand-up comedian continue to have a
Yep.
major platform shows their, values at the end of the day, and it's not surprising to me that they would cancel, the Ultimatum Queer Love, even though the Ultimatum Marry or Move On, AKA the straight version, has had, like, domestic violence issues also, and really toxic, unhealthy relationship dynamics on the show, and we
Mhm.
haven't heard word that it's gonna get canceled. Or Love is Blind, like, I'm just like, I gave up on Love is Blind 2 seasons ago because of how horrible the men
Mhm.
were to the women on the show, and yet again, we've had another season where people are being horrible on the show, so
Yeah, it's so terrible. I don't think any of that I don't I don't think that was a part of it. It must have just been a low viewership. And part of me is like, okay, how much is that? Is like you said, they're willing to invest in Dave Chappelle's stand-up every few years, but they can't invest in this little The Ultimatum Queer Love. We know that they invest in Love is Blind and The Ultimatum, like, what's going on? And then we're always talking about that host. So, I don't know if you saw this, but when there was first news out about this cancellation, Chriselle Staus from
mhm.
uh, Selling
Selling
Sunset
Sunset.
was like, "If you bring it back, if anyone brings it back, I'll be willing to host it." But it's like she's not the first person to say that. Mae Martin was down to host. I think so many queer people would have been willing to host. They specifically chose that host because they
Mhm,
also wanted to court cis straight
mhm.
people. And I think their thinking is like you gotta try and find this other audience instead of courting the one audience that would resonate with it.
Exactly. I'm like, it's okay if it has lower viewership if queer people really love it, because love it or hate it, queer people were talking about The Ultimatum. Like,
Mhm.
you know? And I feel like the first season, not even just queer people were talking about it. I feel like the first season really made waves in, like, reality TV viewers. I don't
Mhm.
know, I feel like I had a lot of people who were watching it who were straight, and I feel like also a part of the issue with season 2 is the gap between season 1 and season 2.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was a lot of time that went by.
I don't know why. Is it that I wonder how much viewership was in season 1, and maybe they didn't think they could do the fast track like all those other shows and waited so long, but yeah, that also kinda dies down on the hype. I mean, every few months we got a new Love Is Blind season.
Literally. Literally.
Like,
And and we get a perfect match every year, right?
yeah. I think they're
Yeah.
trying to compete with Love Island, so they're gonna bring that back every year, every summer. What kinda loss do you think it is that we're not getting this back? Because I think this is a trend. Like,
Mhm.
only, what's that? The Real L Word
Mhm.
maybe got 2 or 3 seasons. Then there
Mhm.
was, like, a long break, and then I know a lot of people in the queer community was not happy when they heard about Tampa Bay's. I was like,
Yeah.
"Look, I have not heard of another queer show. I will try it."
Right. And for all of its flaws, I really was rocking with Tampa Bay's. It was a mess, but I
Yes.
loved it. I watch
Yeah,
reality TV. That's what I'm here for.
exactly. Doesn't get a second season, and then this gets 2 seasons. Like, what is this trend? Is there anything we could do? Drag Race? On I don't know how many seasons. How can we drag raceify the rest of these queer shows?
Or is it I feel like a part of it is media companies have to be willing to take a loss for some of these. They will not, especially these like more lesbian centered, they will not perform as well as some other shows. And that's
Mm,
okay because they need to exist. I think,
mhm.
I'm just like, yeah, the example of Drag Race, like Drag Race started off on what station? It wasn't originally on Logo, right? I feel like
No.
Logo was a step up from where it was, and then it ended up being on, like, MTV or VH1, right? Which is, like, a major cable network, which usually you don't see that happen for, like, a gay television show, but I
Mhm.
think a part of it is how much people enjoy entertainment, like drag as a form of entertainment, which is really
Mhm.
important, but also I'm just like, "Can we just have our little dating shows too where,
Yeah.
because also I think the UK's I Kissed a Boy is one of the few also gay, like, dating shows that I know like, the US has not really
Mhm.
introduced a dating show that focuses on gay or queer men, which I find, interesting.
There was a Prince Charming show that was supposed to be, like, the gay men's answer to The Bachelorette, and I think
Mm,
that got a couple of seasons. But no, it's been rough out here. And yeah, maybe take a little of a loss to like fine tune because there's so many reality shows that have had bad seasons, bad multiple seasons. They'll still shove the money in there for it. And also, I still think Netflix has not even tried a hopeful dating show for
mm-mm,
queer women. Like,
mhm,
no
mhm,
Love Is Blind, no Perfect Match. They could easily do that, and
right,
instead they wanted to do the Ultimatum. I just
mm.
really question that.
Appealed most to straight people. It's like, "Oh, they're getting
Mm.
married. See, they're normal." It's like,
Yeah. It could be that, or even playing into the bad stereotypes about
you
queer.
calling,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. If it ever did come well, okay, let's play a game of, like, if there's another network or streaming service to pick it up, who do you think would be best at that?
I would say Peacock
I was thinking that
because of
too.
the production of Couple to Throuple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like Peacock is willing to spend a bit more money than Netflix is, because I think about all those seasons of Love Is Blind, and, like, those of us who watch Love Is Blind, we know their background music is like iconic because it's like often like copyright free music that sounds like it was created just for the exact scene that it's in. But and it took them forever to like license a song. Whereas like Peacock and they be having like Chapel and Sabrina all in the same episode. I'm like, yes, we need a network that is willing to invest money in this and do it in a fun way.
Yes. Yeah, I loved Couple to Throuple so much. I don't know what they're doing with that, and if it'll ever come back. I hope it does. But also, like, shout out to the people who most of the cast from the Ultimatum Queer Live. I mean, we had AJ and Brittany on here. AJ did a whole season recap of Love is Blind UK, and I think that's also something that gets me. Even with like the Tampa Bay and the Real L Word, it's like it's like being queer famous. You almost will never not be famous because there's so little TV, and yet almost all these people are famous for 1 season, 2 seasons of TV.
Right.
And it just feels like they're untapped talent.
Right. Whitney from the L Word still is like popular and like
absolutely,
you know, in queer scenes and spaces. Like,
yes, the whole place would turn around at a bar.
Exactly.
Yes. So I don't know. I also think of that as like, okay, but can we get these people? I even thought of like when they have those like special episodes of After the Altar on Love is Blind, and it's just these people hanging out. Why can't we get these couples who are still together just hanging out on a trip a la Real Housewives?
Right. Like, why aren't they following Brittany and AJ's friendships with Haley and Pilar? Why aren't they, you know, everybody's on the Pride circuit working together. Why aren't their cameras following them? You know, like, why aren't we actually, you know, and I think a part of it is probably the production companies themselves don't really understand queer audiences and don't understand what we would necessarily want to see, which is why I feel like they want to court also a straight audience too, because to make it more profitable. But I'm just like, give the gays what we're wanting. We will watch it.
I know. And if this show ever got picked up again, make the original couples more of the story. Instead of immediately separating them, give them someone else, like have them live together, let us understand what the relationship dynamics, see a little love before you like break our hearts or something.
Right. Yeah.
I just think it needs to be different. We can't just always see these couples fighting.
Right. But I guess that's the point of the ultimatum though.
I know.
That's the heart, which is why, yeah, when you name like we need like a queer hopeful dating show on Netflix, because yeah, they chose the ultimatum, which is inherently you're playing up the conflict, the tension in the relationship. That's the story.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you think like, oh, I'm going to miss about the show, or if it does come back, like I want changes to?
Someone who doesn't watch a lot of dating reality TV shows, and like just the few, and honestly they're becoming less and less and less over time. I just love like the mess that you never saw coming. I don't know, I'm just like, you know, like the pure like chaos of just putting a bunch of people in an unnatural social experiment. Like, you know, I know you're like, we need to stop splitting them up so quickly, but watching people date other people in front of their long-term partner immediately after arriving in a strange place where they do not live, like it's wow, just like the pure chaos that comes from that. I do think the show could benefit from allowing them to settle in together a little bit as a couple into the situation, get to know people a little bit together as units, and then they date, versus like you get there and immediately you're like trying to date all of these people and you haven't really got to know them. Yeah, I get that is the point of the show, but I do feel like it's kind of chaotic, you know,
For
with this
sure.
a point. But I don't know. I wish what do I wish would be different? They do need a different host for sure, because they need a host also who can really come with like stronger questions in the reunion. That's like really the key piece. You know, I think it's hard for a host to be asking poignant questions in the middle of the thing, right? Because she more than likely isn't watching live clips. She has to see the whole thing too. But I think by the time they get to the reunion, the host should be able to ask questions to get more clarity on a situation. And often I feel like she's kind of like just recapping and then moving on. Like, and
Yeah. Yeah. It would be great if there was actually a couple that are part of it, like Nick and Vanessa can maybe give some advice. I know there's like, well, I guess I don't know if Chriselle's technically married. That was like really weird. I don't know if she's married or not, but I guess she would count. But can you imagine what it would be like if Queen Latifah and her wife popped up? She doesn't have to be the host. She could just pop up for a day and talk about her
Right.
relationship. That would be
Yeah,
groundbreaking.
exactly. Or I think about like Niecy Nash and her wife hosting.
I feel like they would do it.
And that would be great, because I feel like Niecy would come with the questions, with the heat, but then her wife feels a bit more grounded and would like be able to move us through. I mean,
Yeah.
Niecy, yeah, I'm just like, we need more queerness
Yes.
throughout the entire show. Like, amp it up.
Yes. And just like a little bit of joy. Like what was truly like a joyful moment. I think the proposals that ended up with a yes, but then there was like so much mess that happened before. Like my girly pops were like, here's a rock. People clown that shit. But
Yeah,
I'm like,
Oz and yeah.
yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
like, with how much that one put up with living in that trial marriage, and then at the end had that cuteness, I was like, I'm satisfied. I'm
Right.
good.
Oh my gosh. And I feel like in the second season, or and maybe the first season too, it felt like often they would kind of speed through the the like feel good proposals to get to the mess, which is like, yes, we want to see this, but also I think the thing about Love is Blind season 1 that all of us really loved was how much of a love story, how romantic it kind of felt, even though it's also an unhinged premise. Like, you
Yeah.
date someone behind a wall for
Yep.
10 days. But we loved how loving it felt. And we still have Lauren and Cameron from that first, versus
They
like,
had their baby.
oh my gosh, they did.
Yes.
Oh my
Cameron,
god.
I just was scrolling on TikTok and Cameron was just holding the baby and just like whispering about
Wow.
and I was just like, that's amazing.
See, take us back. I feel like we've all or let me use I statements. I watched Love is Blind and I kept watching Love is Blind and Love is a Blind Jason shows to get that feeling back and just realize that I won't. I won't. They
Damn.
realize that the mess is way more lucrative than the
Yeah.
love stories.
Unfortunately, I mean, I still am in it with Love is Blind UK. The last season, I got my little love story with Megan and her man, and I was just like, I just think that they're perfect. I think they were pretty perfect still together. So, and Nicole and what's his name? Benaya are still together.
Oh,
So,
they are? Wow.
mhm.
Wow.
Why'd you say they
What?
are? Wow. We
Wow.
liked
No,
them.
we liked them. We liked them. We did. I liked them. I did.
You're just a little on the more cynical side.
I
Um,
am.
if there's nothing more we want to talk about when it comes to Ultimatum Queer Love, what have you been watching lately?
Oh my gosh. I've been watching the Real Housewives franchises. I've been watching Real Housewives of Potomac. I think I'm behind on an episode or two. I traveled for work. And then I also have been watching the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 5 to catch up so I can start on season 6 and catch up with everybody else.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Nice. I've actually been taking a little bit of a break from reality TV. That's why I've taken a break from releasing episodes, but we're easing back into it. I have been obsessed with the Hunger Games, Quita.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like
Wow.
listening to the audiobooks every day. Jordan and I are watching reaction videos and
Wow.
people talking about the upcoming books. I am obsessed.
Wow.
Have you
What
ever been
has
into it?
no. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff. Yeah, that's typically not a genre that catches my attention, but I know people go up for it. They have a
Mhm.
strong viewer base.
It's very well written.
Mm.
I'll say, I have become one of those that the books are better than the movies, but the
Mm.
movies aren't terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you liked about the series?
I think it does really well talking about trauma, but then persisting.
Mm.
Um yeah, and it doesn't give cheesy when it's like, oh, you want to hang on to love in the face of evil. It does it in a very interesting way, I'll
Mm.
say. And then now with these prequels, they basically made District 12 like Appalachia.
Mm.
So Rachel Ziegler had a southern accent in the last movie, and in the Sunrise of the Reaping, no spoilers to those listening or watching, but there's a lot of discussion of certain foods like chow and
Mm.
ham hock being a ham
Oh,
hock soup.
wow. Interesting.
Exactly. So Hamish is particularly a country boy, and yeah, I think, and now it's like the world building is expanding with the prequels that you almost see people's lineages and
Mm.
where these families are going, whether it's towards the rebellion or towards the capital. Also, Snow is just a psychopath. His whole book just shows
Mm.
his mentality. I think that's the big thing is you can't get inner monologues in movies. So
Mm.
now being able to get in their heads versus what was shown on screen is oh, there's a lot more going on here.
Mm. Got it.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
how many movies are there?
Um 5. The
Oh,
first trilogy they split into 4 movies, and then there was the first prequel that came out last year, and then the new prequel will be next year.
got it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Got it. I've
Yeah.
also been into a franchise lately, the
Okay.
Conjuring universe.
Okay. How you
Ridiculousness.
feeling about that?
Well, Jordan knows this, but I'm really into reaction videos on YouTube and horror movies. I like watching reaction videos to horror movies, sometimes whether or not I've seen them. Actually, I've
Yeah.
seen reaction videos to the Terrifier series. Have I ever seen Terrifier? No.
Mm.
Will I? Absolutely not. Being
Yep.
scarred through YouTube censorship is enough. But the Conjuring universe is one of those. And then I was like, I've watched so many of these reaction videos. I think maybe I do just want to watch the movies to know for
Oh, yeah.
myself how I feel about them. And then The Conjuring Last Rites was coming out or came out. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to watch all of them and end with The Conjuring Last Rites and actually see it first before I see people react to it.
Mhm.
You know, And I also watch other YouTube videos about people researching the Warrens, right? So I do think, the Conjuring universe movies really paint the Warrens in a particular light,
Mhm.
regardless how grounded in reality that is.
Mhm. Mhm.
The Conjuring Last Rites, for example, I think The Conjuring Last Rites is so interesting because the other Conjuring movies, I like them because they are focused on like the family and like the
Yeah.
haunting of a family, how it impacts them. I am into that kind of horror, kind of like The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor. I kind of describe it as like, it's kind of like, what is that show that everybody loved on NBC with the family? It's like the one kid is adopted and everybody. This Is Us. Sorry. This
Yes.
Is Us. I describe like The Haunting of Hill House as like This Is Us horror because it's like
Okay.
short, and I feel like the Conjuring movies also are kind of like that. It's like it's a horror movie, it's a haunting movie, but also you're really focused on a family and what that
Yeah.
means. And my issue with The Conjuring Last Rites is like, sure, it's focused on a family, but it's focused on the Warrens. It's not focused primarily on the haunted
Oh.
family. Yeah, it's like their way of trying to like close up this story with Ed and Lorraine.
Mhm.
This is going to be the last Conjuring movie. Which I don't know. I'm like,
We'll see.
in a world where IP movies take everything,
Right.
we can't get another Quit Ultimatum, but we can get another franchise movie every single
Correct.
time.
Correct.
Yeah, but I like the haunting movies. I think the Annabelle, the Nun, like those kind of like
Mhm.
additional world building. It can be cool how it's built in, but also sometimes you can kind of tell the writing just feels
Mhm.
chaotic. Just like, did you intend to keep the story going for as long as you did? And now you're having to like backtrack and make things work that actually don't work. And you've messed up dates now
Mm.
in your own universe.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's we have watched YouTube reaction videos to The Conjuring because Jordan's the same way. It's like, I'm not gonna watch that mess. But even in the reaction videos, like it's gotten us a few times with The Conjuring. So that's really funny. We have watched more of the classic horror though.
Mm.
So we started Chucky for the first time.
Yay, love
Yeah,
Chucky.
we've gotten to, Chucky's Bride, so we have to watch Fate
Mm.
of Chucky, and, we watched a few Jason movies, but they're particularly the bad ones. So
Oh,
Jason 10 and Jason 8, one takes
yeah,
place in
Jason
space.
X. Yeah, yeah. It's like that weird moment in media where like they're like thinking about what future technology will be, but
Mhm.
it's like, why is Jason in space? Why?
Why?
Why did y'all bring this frozen man into space? What is this?
Then they were like, "Oh, they have a bunch of these frozen people, and they sell them." So that's what his plan was, and it's like, this was not worth it.
No, absolutely not. Like Jason Goes to New York.
Yes, we watched Jason Goes to New York. He takes forever to get to New York. We're like, "We're on a cruise ship," and Jordan was like, "No, it's a small ship." I was like, "Jordan, there's a When they opened the doors to the club, I was like, "I've had enough. This is
Oh
absolutely a cruise ship."
my gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Love it. Are y'all gonna
Mhm.
watch the Nightmare on Elm Street series, or have you watched them?
I've watched them once and I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean this whole entire franchise is based on a child predator?"
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
After
like,
that, I was like, "I don't think I can do that."
the first movie that Wes Craven that was supposed to be, but then execs were like, "No."
But in
And so
some they do. Like, there was one where that backstory
the
was there.
the remake in that was recent, right? It was like in the
Mm-hmm.
2000s. They made that explicit, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
only one that makes it explicit. The others, he only takes, ends children, not like, yeah. So
Yeah.
the remake makes it explicit, but it's kind of like an undertone of other movies, of the original Wes Craven movies. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So I watched the
and
worst one.
yeah, the absolute worst one, because also, um, uh, Robert Englund, who plays Freddy in all of the others except for the remake, he brings such a humor and charm
Mm,
to
mm.
Freddy that isn't the same in that one. It's that one truly is the least favorite of
Got it.
all of them. Yeah. So I would say the first one is pretty iconic, and then the third one's really good. The second one, I really like it because of the queer undertones, and there's a lot there. I don't know if you'd heard about it. There's like a lot of controversy because there was a lot of queer subtext in the film and in the script,
Mhm.
and the actor who plays the protagonist is a man, which it's a final boy, which just the trope, especially for after the first one.
Mhm.
And he was a gay man,
Mm.
and the director, not Wes Craven, but someone else, threw it on him and said it was him who made the film seem as queer as it was. It was not written to be that way. Um, Only for years later to come out and be like, yeah, there was queer subtext written into the script. Yeah.
Messy.
Messy,
Messy,
yeah.
messy.
And that actor left Hollywood after that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. People assume the same thing about Stranger Things. I don't know
Oh,
if
with
you know
Will
about
and
that.
Mike.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like, no, it's textual. There's a
Yeah.
line in the first season about Will being different, and then the actor later came out, and it's like, so when you guys did these auditions, what were you guys looking for to make sure the actor was on point?
Right.
They're like, "Oh, no, that one's gay. That
That one
one's gonna
that
come
one
out
has a
eventually.
kid.
We need that one." Are you gonna dress up for Halloween?
I am gonna do a couple's costume with my partner. We're gonna do Spinelli and TJ from Recess.
I know Jordan's so jealous right now
Why?
because I wanna do a couple's costume. I want to be Lucy Gray from the last Hunger Games movie. And I was like, and Jordan, I don't want you to be Snow. I would love for you to be Jessup. Jordan's like, I ain't playing a black man who has rabies the whole movie. And I'm like, but he protects her. He's a sweet man. Da, da, da. Jordan's like, absolutely
Oh
not.
my gosh. Oh my
So
gosh.
I have been trying to wear them down to no success. I have no clue. And Jordan loves doing cartoon characters
Mm,
for Halloween. We were one last. I was the black girl in Magic School Bus. I forgot what Jordan was,
mm.
but I'm like, can I have a year? Can I
Like,
have?
my costume, please.
I don't know who else they would play, but that was just the big one. That was like, I think it would be nice. Jordan's like, no. Anyways, guys, if you are doing couples costume and watching on YouTube, please put in the comments what you're gonna dress up as. Are you that into the Hunger Games? Let us know because I am. It's getting to the point where I'm like, do I want to start podcasting? I know
Oh,
Black by
wow.
Reality has been like about reality TV.
Yeah, a little another channel to focus on other media like the Hunger Games could be fun.
Maybe, but then again, I'm not trying to build anything from scratch. It will go on here somehow.
That's
And
real. That's
then
real.
oh my god. Do you watch Yellow Jackets?
I have, but I haven't seen season 3. I watched seasons
Okay.
1 and 2.
But did you hear about Yellow Jackets?
What about it?
The next season's going to be the last, which they were not planning for.
Oh,
So
what
they're going
happened?
to have,
They just
I don't
okay.
know. I don't know. But they're like, you got one more season, and everyone's upset because they were planning for more, and now they're gonna have to wrap this ish up.
This feels like another attack on Sapphics. I'm just saying.
I think so. Like, it's so disappointing. I was making like some content around Yellow Jackets, and whenever it comes out, I will probably also podcast about that one and see if any of my theories will be
Yeah.
true. I feel like they were heading from a certain direction, but now I don't know. Like, I didn't know Juliette Lewis left, like, wanted to
Mm.
leave, and that's what led to that.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like a lot of their original plans are kind of going out the window, which makes me nervous.
I need to watch season 3. That'll be a good end of spooky season thing to watch. I watched Weapons last night, and so I'm like, okay, what else do I watch to keep this?
We have to watch Weapons. Like, Jordan's kind of dreading it, but
I will say it's not as like scare. If you're thinking you're going to be scared the entire time, that's not the vibe.
okay.
It does build tension. It does have some jump scares. This is a horror movie, but
Mhm.
and it does have some gore elements to it,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's not like I don't know. I feel like The Conjuring is more jumpy than
Oh
Weapons. I
yeah.
will say that because yeah, The Conjuring, that's their whole vibe. It's just like
Whole thing.
building dread and making you afraid of what's gonna jump out at you at any moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, hope you have a good Halloween. I hope everyone has a good Halloween. What have you guys been watching lately? Let me know in the comments. And other than that, where can people follow you, Quita?
You can follow me on Instagram at hello_Quita.
And you can follow Black by Reality across all socials. And I hope you feel visible and stay visible today. We're visible despite the struggle of queer reality TV.
Right. We're here. We're queer. We exist.
Yes. All right. Bye, guys.